There you go. Sorry for the delay on my previous video where I kind of gave you the overview of how the Zhiyun Smooth Q function of it and how the actual controls work. I was planning on shooting the actual software portion of that, but battery died, and even now I guess the cold weather and the fact that it is now snowing, I don't know if you can see that, is affecting the battery on my LX10 here. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to walk through this really quickly and give you some instructions, or actually some, I guess, pointers on how to use the ZY Play app. I know when it first came out, I was very impressed with it because the actual tracking feature worked 100% better than it did when the original Zhiyun Assistant came out. The tracking feature was buggy, it wouldn't work, it wouldn't track you. I only tried it on the Android. I didn't try it on the iPhone because I primarily use the Android phone when I'm using this with the stabilizer. So maybe it worked on the Apple and I didn't know it, but when I got ZY Play, like I said, I was very impressed with it. But after using ZY Play for a couple of days now, trying to come out and actually shoot these videos, I found that there are still some issues or bugs that I can't figure out. And it may not be that there's actually bugs in it. The app may also be, got a couple buses coming by, schools are letting out because it's starting to snow. The app may also be set up to work with other Zhiyun gimbals, and it's not meant to work with the Smooth Q. The Smooth Q is the budget version of this. It's the least expensive of all their gimbals, so some of the things that may work in this, that may not work with this gimbal, may work with some of their other gimbals. But anyway, I'm going to try to get this to screen record right now because it'll be easier than me trying to do this. So let me see if I can get it to screen record. Give me 2 seconds here. Alright, so to use the ZY Play app, like I said, it works a lot better when it comes to doing things like tracking. It actually has a lot more features in it. One of the things that I couldn't figure out how to do is actually use the calibration feature. The icon or the image that is shown in the calibration feature is actually for a different stabilizer, so it may not work with the Play, and the snow is starting to come down hard. Like I said, it's not probably going to work with my camera. But real quick, before I get snowed out here, let's go through some of the features real quick. On the right, left side here, you got your camera and you got your video selection. You got your shutter button. Below that, you have the ability to switch your camera from front to rear. And then below that, you have your gallery. Let's go back. And to the right of that, you have your obstacle tracking, which will allow you to, oh, I'm not connected to the device. So to connect to the device, you hit this little Bluetooth icon up here in the top left. And my Bluetooth information is already saved, so it's actually going to lock into that, and it says it's connected. So now that I'm connected, I'm going to come out of that. And if you were to go here, you'd be able to get to that tracking feature. And the tracking feature, what you would do is if you wanted to track something, if I can get it to turn around and see if I can actually get it to track something, just cars and stuff moving really fast. It is now tracking that car that I have selected in the background. So that's how tracking figures works. And like I said, it works pretty good. It actually locked into that car, and the car's going to move out of frame. It's pretty far away, so it's not going to keep up with it. But I'm going to exit out of that. It's looking for the car now. It's not seeing the car anymore, but it's looking for it. I'm going to exit out of that because the snow's coming. Up here in the top right, you have your controls. And this is where I said you had a lot more control, or actually settings. You can set this up for video quality. Now, what I think is that the application does not run as well as the phone application when it comes to video quality. So I think the compression is a little bit off and the image quality is a little bit off. I did take some panos, and we're going to look at those to see if they actually came out right. But you can set this, because if you don't have a strong phone, you can set this for optimize for your phone. You can optimize it for video quality. You're going to have an equilibrium of you know, how well it balances out power and performance. And then you have excellence, which is probably going to be the most draining on the processors in your phone. But what I wanted to show you was, if you're shooting panoramas, one of the things that I found is that my phone, or actually the Zhiyun app, has an automatic focus. You can actually lock out the automatic focus by tapping on the screen for a second, and it'll lock it out. But I find that as you're doing, if you have it set up right here where it says panoramic timing, if you have it set up at like a half a second or 1 second, that image is going to be zooming in that half a second or 1 second. The panorama will keep going, but as it stops, you'll see it try to zoom, and then it'll be move to the next one. So if you're trying to get nice panoramas, I would suggest selecting something like 5 seconds between images. That'll give it enough time to focus on the image and then lock into it. The calibration feature, like I said, I couldn't figure that out. I tried to do the 6-side calibration, couldn't figure it out. I actually went back to using the actual old laptop version of it, and it worked, but I couldn't figure out how to get it to work with the cell phone app. You can also go down and you can look at all your control rates, the PTZ, pitch, tilt, zoom, I think maybe that might be. That's going to actually help you slow down the gimbal when you're actually trying to get those cinematic movements. Sometimes that gimbal will snap really fast. You can slow that down so that it moves nice and slow. You can also reverse the control, so left will be right, right will be left. I actually do that on the thumb gimbal control here, because I'm always pushing down and up, and thinking it's going to go the opposite direction. So I'll pull down or something and go opposite direction. So sometimes I'll reverse that just to make sure that I don't mess up when I'm doing my my videoing. And then you got general again, which is going to just give you your software and your device name. And then live, from what I understand, live actually works in the UK. It's actually for doing live video straight from the Zhiyun application itself. So let's get out of settings and let's go on, because right now I am in camera mode and not video mode. On the right side, what you can see here is that it has, let me make sure I'm still recording, I am. It has panorama selected because I am in photo mode. So you have the option of shooting you can have it shoot a still photo, one single photo, or you can have it shoot panorama. Right now I'm in panorama, and you have the option of shooting 180 panorama, 330 panorama, and a wide view panorama, and they work pretty well. What I did find out is that if you use the shutter button, if you tap the shutter button in panorama, for some reason it doesn't connect and it will not shoot or and stitch together the whole panorama. When I use the shutter button, I tried to do a wide panorama, and it only gave me the center portion of that panoramic shot. You actually have to hit the shutter button on the controller, on the handle here, which is the power button. And once you do that, the panorama seems to work. It will get the whole panorama and stitch it together correctly. Just thought I'd let you know that, because when I first started doing this, I was actually using the screen to kind of set up that panoramic shot, and it wasn't working for me. And then if we come out of that, and just because I want to show you some other features, if you go into the video mode, now that same icon changes to a video icon, and it's set in normal right now. So you can actually use that to shoot a slow-mo or time-lapse, or actually a moving time-lapse. All of them seem to work. I haven't shot any slow-mo video or time-lapse video with it, but I was actually interested in trying to learn how to use the moving time-lapse, because I want to get some nice shots where it's actually doing a moving time-lapse where you actually see the clouds, or maybe it's the stars at night. So I'm going to be focusing on using that a lot more to kind of get some cool transitions for some of the videos I'm shooting. But all of the other features seem to work as long as you hit the shutter button on the handle and not on the actual app itself. So let's come out of that real quick, and let's go into the next icon down, and these are going to be your camera settings. Unfortunately, the SmoothQ app can only record at a resolution of 1080/30, whereas my phone, if I'm not using the SmoothQ app, can record up to 4K at maybe 30 frames per second. You can't do it with the SmoothQ app. Also, you only have 720 at 30 frames per second. In photo mode, you have, it looks like 720, 1080, and 4K max. So you can get 4K photos, but video resolution is probably going to be less than most cell phones out right now when it comes to shooting video. So in that situation, if I want to shoot high-res video, I probably would just use the phone app, the built-in phone app camera. and use the gimbal by itself without the application control. So your bottom icon is going to get you into what is called the scene mode, application mode, and joystick mode. So with scene mode, what you're going to do is it's going to kind of set up the gimbal to work best for what you're doing. If you're walking, it's going to make the gimbal slower or faster. I can't tell you which one it is because I haven't tried it. And then for motion, I guess that's if you're in a car or if you're on a bike or something where you got a lot of bumping or jarring, it's probably going to slow that gimbal down a little bit more and plus add some stabilization. And then if you hit custom, it's going to take you back to the PTZ screen where you can actually manually adjust each axis to get you the right rate of speed to get you the cleanest, smoothest video that you want to shoot. So that's pretty much everything when it comes to the app. It tells you your battery levels. It tells you whether or not your camera flash is on. It gives you pretty much your Bluetooth, and I don't think I'm missing anything. That is everything. And like I said, originally when I bought this out, I thought it was awesome, and I still think that it's got a lot of potential. So I still think it's got a lot of potential because they have improved on what they originally released. The tracking feature for me was a big thumbs up. The ability to do some of the other things like the moving, what is it called? Moving time-lapse. So the ability to do moving time-lapse is a big thumbs up for me. Other than that, I mean, like I said, the gimbal itself for $139 is an excellent deal. Plus, I plan on trying to do the modification where I can use that with my compact camera, where I can remove this clamp, put a compact camera mount on it and use it as for a compact camera. The only thing that I've seen in those videos where guys are doing it is that you lose the ability to see your screen because the compact camera screen is blocked, but that's not a problem with cameras like the LX10 and I believe even the Sony RX series, because you can also view your screen via a cell phone or a different device. So I could use an app to see what's going on my screen. I can attach it to the gimbal itself and it'll add a little bit more weight to it, but I'll have a multi-purpose gimbal that should work. So that is it. Again, I like the app. I like the gimbal for $139 or even down to $100 from what I've seen. So I tell you the honest truth about it. If I thought it sucked, I would tell you it sucked. I would tell you not to buy it, but I think this is a great deal when it comes to buying the gimbal. It's probably not right now a GoPro Osmo killer, but give this a little bit more time, and I'm thinking that Zhiyun might make this actually very close to a GoPro killer. So hopefully they'll do that soon so that I can get out and use it more. Hey everybody, it's snowing and right now I got snow falling on my LX10, which is not waterproof. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for supporting the vlog. I appreciate everybody who supports the channel. Thanks for everybody who supported me on my last rant video. Sorry if it was long-winded, but I just had to get some stuff off my chest. So for now, I'm going to get out of this cold, get out of the snow, and I'll be back soon. I'll talk to you later. Bye.